Drunkview.
Alright, so recently we saw the movie Vacation, a semi-sequel remake of the original Vacation. Connor, you want to give us a brief plot overview of Vacation?
Yes, sir. So basically, Vacation was a movie starring Ed Helm, which was as Rusty, and it basically remakes the original Vacation with slightly different gags and in-jokes related to the original movies to prove this is not a remake or a reboot, it's a sequel, but it's kind of also a remake, kind of also a reboot. So, Vacation basically stars Ed Helm remembering how he loved his vacation to Wally World as a kid and how it brought his family close together, and he wants to emulate that with his family. So what he does is he does a bunch of funny antics and gets a shitty car, and they go on a vacation to Wally World. Along the way, a lot of funny antics happen. And then in the end the family learns, hey, maybe we weren't being a good family. But Ed Helm was really being the paste to or the peanut butter to our family is bread, and he was keeping us together. There were a lot of jokes that went along the way, a lot of kind of rehashed jokes from the original Vacation, and nods to the original movie franchise, because it referenced Christmas Vacation, European Vacation, and the original Vacation. Didn't really mention, didn't do much that had to do with the other two. So, Aiden, what did you think about Vacation?
It was pretty alright. It was way better than Pixels. It had a couple funny moments and some not funny stuff. There was a lot of actors in it, which was kind of weird. Like, a whole ton of famous people just made really small appearances, which kind of...
The new cameo
kind of strange. Yeah, the new cameo method. Like, the main character of Office Space appears as, like, Rusty's rival, but he appears in, like, 2 scenes. So, yeah, but it was, it had some good moments, and then overall it wasn't, like, terribly cringeworthy either, which is nice. Unlike a certain movie called Pixels. So yeah, overall I guess I'd say it wasn't bad. What about you, Connor? What did you think?
I thought Vacation was alright. Basically, I've seen all of the Vacation movies a few times. I've seen Christmas Vacation 200,000 times, because for some reason that's my grandpa's favorite movie, and we have to watch it for like Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's. Basically, anytime we go there, he makes us watch Christmas Vacation. I mean, relatively speaking, I am familiar with the franchise. Vacation, ironically, I think I'm the least familiar with the original one. I have seen it a couple times. So yeah, it definitely tried to do stuff different from the original movie, which was a good idea. That being said, there were a few gags that were kind of similar, like the look out the car window and such. Ed Helms.
All the trailer ones were really similar.
Yeah.
To
it was mostly like the marketing team put a few similar things in there to try and sell the movie to the old fans of the franchise, which is pretty understandable. But it did actually manage to do some original things. They did also kind of reference themselves a lot, like, oh, there's 2 guys in this movie instead of a guy and a girl, so it's different. And Chevy Chase and gosh, what's the mom's name? I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
She made an appearance too. They kind of just made a brief cameo so that they could take the original car the rest of the way to Wally World, which honestly I totally expected. Once they got that shitty car, I knew it was gonna blow up and they were gonna replace it. Whatever. They also made an appearance, so it's like, oh, it's not really a reboot. It's a revitalization or something like that. Really, it's a reboot. But you know what I'm saying. But yeah, it made a lot of funny in-jokes, like when they mentioned the Cousin Eddie shit thing. I kind of thought there might be a double layer there, like his movies, like Las Vegas Vacation, Christmas Vacation 2 or shit. But also how he would dump his sewage. Otherwise, I don't see why they'd even really make the joke, you know? because it's like, hey, Cousin Eddie's shit, like, or it's shit. It reminds me of Cousin Eddie, because Cousin Eddie always dropped his shit. But I mean, making a reference to another joke from a previous movie seems like kind of a cop out. And based on the amount of in references they've been doing in the film, I kind of took it as like his movies were shit, but you also also the shit joke. So it's kind of like a double reference. Like, if you look at it on the surface and you don't really analyze the movie cleverly, like I have, then you're gonna think that it was just a reference to another joke, which would basically be so corny. I would only believe Adam Sandler would stoop that low. But yeah, I mean, Cousin Eddie couldn't make his appearance because he can't come into America right now to tax evasion or evasion. Which, I mean, obviously he made Las Vegas Vacation and Christmas Vacation too, so he definitely would have made his appearance. I mean, no doubts there.
Nothing better going on.
But now he has really nothing better going on. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I really didn't mind this movie. Some of it were kind of like stupid jokes, but I did like the cameos from like
Office Space and Charlie Day and Dee from Always Sunny.
I don't
and
even remember her name right now. I'm completely blanking on it.
They didn't have Poncho from Ant-Man.
Okay, those raises, but yeah.
Also the guy from The League, whose name I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had, there's also that long scene that's in the trailer. Kind of the worst part of the movie where well, no, it's not the worst part, but where he's talking about how it's going to stand on its own just so they could use it as a trailer shot. He's like, this is going to stand on its own.
And that was kind of the first clone why I thought that might have been the Cousin Eddie joke, the shit one, you know? Because they did try and reference their own movie a lot, their old movies, which I thought was a good idea in the way of like kind of keeping it with continuity, you know? They were trying to be like, yep, this is definitely, you know, this is a sequel, not a reboot. And I think they did do a decent job of like, they incorporated it well where they wanted it to have those reboot, remake joke vibes with the twist, and then also, like, like add something new. So I think
some of it was... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was it.
Some of the jokes were a little obvious, like the truck driver following them around just to give them something they left behind, which I called at the exact start of the movie. Yeah, there was some stuff like that where it was a little obvious, but there was actually some pretty funny stuff. Actually, the one where they're at the place where the 4 states meet was all right. There was some other stuff.
Kind of fell short at the end.
Yeah, it kind of ended bad, but I liked the idea. But
yeah, a lot of the jokes had good setup, but a few of them did fall short. That was like my biggest thing with it. Honestly, it wasn't all that funny, but I mean, if you remember back to Vacation and stuff, they weren't like the funniest movies in the world. Honestly, I thought it was an alright sequel. Definitely better than the previous sequels.
And the truck driver was played by Daryl from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, no, it was a big cameo.
It was.
The thing I would have really changed, honestly, if there was one thing I could change, is I thought they went too famous with... I mean, I don't recognize the mom and the younger son, but the older son did a lot of child actor work lately. And I actually don't completely hate him as a child actor. Like, I mean, there's worse child actors out there. That being said, I think Ed Helm might have been too recognizable for me.
The weirdest part was...
You know what I'm saying?
Chevy Chase came back, and the mom came back, and even the sister came back.
Was that the original sister, though?
Yes, it was.
Because they changed the girl and the boy several times.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's the one from the first movie. I was looking it up. I was curious. And then, of course, there's Chris Hemsworth, who you gotta put in, because
they were doing a lot of celebrity cameos, so I don't blame it, because it was trying to...
The Chris Hemsworth part was actually one of the better parts of the movie, too.
Preferred...
No, not the cringeworthy part with him wasn't, but when they were at the ranch, it was alright.
The thing, I would have done less known actors, because, I mean, Chevy Chase was kind of well known at the time. I think he was already on... He would have been on Saturday Night Live already, I believe. Honestly, I don't know much about Saturday Night Live, but I mean, still comparatively, I mean, I would consider like Ed Helm, like, an upper B-lister or an A-lister. I mean, he's
he
pretty
was
well
on the
known in the way of
Office.
TV. Yeah. In the way of, like, TV and shit, he's pretty well known. And, I mean, he's been doing a lot of comedy work. He did Hangover and stuff. And honestly, I would have tried to do more B-listers. I mean, National Lampoon was never, like, a huge budget company, comparatively. So, I probably actually would have preferred if they did stuff that was a little, like less, not referencey. I don't know what the word for it is. I guess I would have done less famous people.
I think they should have tied it into the Vacation cinematic universe a little more.
Oh, that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, what was your favorite part and least favorite part?
Honestly, my favorite part really... Oh, shit. I mean, I guess my least favorite part I'll start out with was a lot of the jokes were kind of, like, set up maybe pretty well, but fell a little short, and a lot of it was, like, circumstance comedy, but, like, huge fucking coincidences. Like
all
they stopped at the mom's college just to have hot girls
God.
dance around for a minute to get your nuts really riled up, you know? And then they're like, wow, you were a big whore and you fucked all these dudes and you were doing all this shit. And then she's like, I actually made this game that you guys happen to be doing right now, even though you do it once a year. And they're like, yeah, we love getting hammered at noon. And then they, like, fucking drink beer, and then she throws up, and that's the joke.
Oh, and then she does the obstacle course, and she gets knocked off it, and they had to CGI.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she falls, like, 4 feet, and they couldn't find someone to fall the 4 feet onto grass, so they CGI'd it, and it's really bizarre.
Yeah.
That was one of the weirder parts of the movie.
She's like, I made up this game and all this shit, and it's like, okay, first off, what college would sponsor an event where everyone drinks whole pitchers of beer? I mean... First off, you're chugging a pitcher of beer, which is not a good idea for your liver. I mean, maybe spreading them out, a pitcher might not be horrible. And then what you do is you hop on an obstacle course where you get hit, obviously pretty painfully, because when she got hit, it was like clunk, and then she's barfing everywhere, and she falls 15 feet to the ground, you know, for spine-tingling cracking noises and shit. And it's like, what college would do this? It's just very coincidental, and it was for one throwaway gag.
Would do this, but what college would not report this?
Here's my other problem. It's like, well, it's for charity, so it must have been college sponsored in some capacity. But then so many of the jokes were like, they walk there, like it just kind of is like, okay, we're here, and then they hop out of the car, and it kind of fast forwards a few seconds until they reach whatever they're gonna do. And then she confronts it. She's like, wow, this is my college. They say some shit. She fails. And then it fades to black and they're back in the car, and Ed Helm always says, well, that didn't turn out how we thought, and that's how it happened for every gag, you know?
We got soaked in the poopy. That didn't turn out how we thought.
And then it was every time, too. That one kind of had, like, the thing, because they, like, broke in. He's like, shit, there's the dick, and then they hop in the car, and it pops to a few seconds later where they're driving, and he's like, well, that didn't turn out. Actually, no, that one kind of just goes to Chris Hemsworth, but I mean, other times, too, that it happens, like the, shit, I had one in mind, but I totally forgot.
The river rafting thing did that.
The river rafting, that was the one I was going to talk about. So basically, we think Charlie Day dies or whatever, but he doesn't. He falls off a waterfall, then you see him in the after credits thing. But basically, it looks like he dies, and the family thinks he dies, and they all almost die. And they're grabbing on, and they're like, oh my god, he dies. And the second it hits the ground, it fades to black, and then it opens up, and they're in the car, and they're like, well, we're traumatized. Then they're like, let's just go home. This vacation's stupid, and like all the cliches. Because they had to have done this vacation's stupid. That's a trademark of the genre. And
Rusty's like, I'm a world-class pilot, and all the big airlines want to buy me, but I want to be with my family because I'm a good guy. And his family's like, you're a butthole because this vacation's stupid.
No, and then they realize that he sacrificed so much.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to.
We get it. That's not too misunderstandable. And the whole idea of the Vacation franchise is really like, this vacation goes completely wrong, and the ends justify the end. It was not really about the vacation and more about the family coming together, and that was the idea of the original Vacation, so keeping that moral in mind was fine. And it's kind of nice when a comedy doesn't just have the moral of you like fucked a tranny dude or something, like Vacation or like Hangover 2 or whatever. But it's like at the same time, it's just kind of you know, it felt like more of a remake when they kind of put that on. You know, like we got it.
So what was the moral of Christmas Vacation 2?
I don't even fucking remember that movie. I just remember they went to an island and Cousin Rusty was doing stupid shit. Anyhow.
So your favorite part? You didn't get to that yet.
Oh yeah, I already. That was just a long conversation about my list. Yeah, my favorite part was, I don't know. I mean, in the end, I thought it was. I mean, this is general, but I thought a lot of the jokes were. There were some parts that I actually laughed at. A lot of modern comedies I just don't even like in the slightest, you know. So a lot of the times I just kind of I phase out and I just don't like them. In this case, I mean, there was somewhat of a story. We could see the progression. It was kind of neat that it wasn't the worst reboot I've ever seen. It just I did laugh at a few of the jokes. That's what I'm trying to get at. I did like the kind of in-joke references to the franchise itself, which at first kind of pissed me off because they were cheesy, but when they got into some of like the more subtle jokes that not everyone would have got just seeing the movies once, I thought they were kind of funny actually. So, you know, overall, it wasn't a great movie, but
That's your own.
it was lovable. And so yeah, that's what I thought about it. What's your favorite and least favorite part?
My least favorite, actually, I said earlier that the Chris Hemsworth part was good, but I actually take that back because there was a lot of stupid moments there, like when he comes into the bedroom and he has a huge penis.
Yeah, that was a dumb.
And then when they first arrive there, they're trying to wipe the penis graffiti off the car, and it looks like they're jacking it off. Basically, all the dumbest moments were concentrated in that little stretch.
I don't even know why you said you liked it. I was very confused.
Yeah, I know. I take that back entirely.
I don't even know where you're
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. But yeah, the penis part, the Chris Hemsworth's penis was the worst part. I'd say the best part of the movie, in the end, was probably overall, it wasn't a bad movie. But I don't know if I have like a moment that sticks out to me as like a favorite part. I'm just kind of glad that the movie as a whole was funnier than basically every movie that's come out in years.
Oh, they're funny movies. Once in a while, there.
Yeah, I mean, still, it's better than most.
Compared to a lot of the crap we've been getting lately, it was decent. And I don't want to give a movie a good score because it's comparatively good. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Aiden, fuck that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna pick.
So, I guess I'll do it because you weren't gonna say it. Would you suggest this movie, Aiden?
Maybe if you're really in the mood to.
You're giving pretty shitty answers.
Fuck. Yeah, sure. It's good enough that if you're gonna go see a movie, you could see this one. It's not terrible. I wouldn't like go out of your way to see it, but it's fine. It's good. I'd watch it. Yeah.
All right, my turn. I would say if you're not a fan of if you're not a fan of the Vacation franchise, you're probably gonna kind of like this movie because you didn't see the old movies. And if you're a fan of the Vacation franchise, you'll also like this movie. That being said, it's not the greatest comedy. So, I mean, as someone who's seen the movies and isn't the ultimate fan, I can say I would suggest the movie to people who haven't seen the old ones. And to the people who kind of want a good vacation sequel and are kind of longing for a new vacation, I'd watch it. But if you're just kind of a casual vacation fan, I would wait till it came out on DVD because
Netflix.
Well, I wouldn't even say Netflix. I would say like Redbox or whatever, or like even buy it once it comes to the $5 bin, which it will. I mean, I'm not being mean when I say it. I did like how it was kind of like it did some raunchier things too than the other Vacations because it was R, which was I think the first one since the original Vacation.
Yeah, because the original Vacation had titties in it.
Yeah. Another thing I want to point out is a lot of times they had the kids swear because it's like, whoa, shock value, you know.
The kid's like, you're a pussy, and then
no, it's you're a vagina, and he calmly says vagina, so it's funny. So, like I said, there's a lot of stupid shit to it.
Oh, you
so
know,
I wouldn't suggest it to everyone, but you know, I would probably Redbox it at some point. It wasn't a horrible movie.
There was something else kind of weird.
Yeah.
The whole arc where the little brother bullies the older brother is kind of just ended in one scene and then really never brought up again. Like
the girls like beat him up and then he punches
beat him up
brother, and she looks at him like he's a douchebag after that.
And then in the end, they just never bring it up again. They're best friends, and it's over.
The girl also kind of just disappears till the credits. Like, she happens to be along with them the whole time. And then their arc never really ends, and there's just a picture where it's like, oh, they kissed later. And it's like, okay. I guess. You know, like, why do you even start that arc if you're never going to finish it? Yeah, there were a lot of fucked up arc things with it, too.
But yeah, so let's go on to our next review. Christmas Vacation 2.
I haven't seen Christmas Vacation in so long. I'm not even going to participate.
Yeah.
That's all for today,
so the
guys.
plot of the movie is that Cousin Eddie goes to an island.
Can you name a single other part of the movie? No, I can't either. So
the movie is very bad.
That's
I would not recommend
That's all
it
for
to
today.
anyone.